Hi guys, so today's gonna be a video, or like 4 videos, but all in the same area, um, about this book. It is called The Selfie. It's over 600 pages long. If you can't see, it's really big. And if you can't tell, it already got a little damaged already. Just because I've been reading it every day, and I still haven't finished it, and I've had it for a very long time. What was I saying? So, it's a really big book, as you saw. 600 pages long, over 600 pages long. Purchasable? I don't know. Purchasable at, any bookstore, any local bookstore you have. Amazon.com, Lulu.com. Lulu.com is pretty cool. But yeah, so if you're looking for a ginormous book that's like based on teen developing, this is the book to go to, because this is one of the most helpful books I've ever read in my life. Like, I know myself now, like, better than I did. I know myself. Myself and I are like this. So, today's video, or this portion video, is going to be focused on, our measurements of our certain, sorry if I keep on looking up, there's birds flying all over the place, it's going to be like measurements of our body, like our wrists, necks, calf, our height and weight. So that's what this video is going to be about. In the next video, it's going to be about skin care and getting to know our skin, and then third one's going to be like washing face, and fourth one's going to be my favorite, which is makeup. So, without further ado, let's get started, because this is a very moving around video. So, if I look down, I'm just reading directions, because you guys need to know what to do and how to direct, how to measure yourself. So, that's what I'm doing if I'm looking down. So, let's get started. I was gonna do all the measurements with you guys, but I made a separate video of that, but it was like 45 minutes long, and I don't think you guys want to watch me measure myself. So, I can probably edit it, all my talking out, and show you guys how to do it if you want to. But if not, I'm just going to tell you and show you pictures that I have, so you'll know what you're doing. So, you're going to need a ruler, which is 12 inches, because a half-inch ruler would not really be helpful. A tape measure, the white one that's bendy, not like the yellow one that you use to like measure wood with, because that's not really helpful because it's not bendable. A headband or something to keep your hair out of your face, a comfortable chair, a weight scale, a well-lit area, a hand mirror, a full-length mirror, and a pad and a pencil. Why pad and a pencil? Because you need to write all your results down, because you'll see in a minute. So, first thing that you're going to be doing is your height. And your height is, you kind of would need someone to help you with this. If you think you can do it yourself, then you go for it, girl. But, it would be really helpful, because you have to do the same thing that you do at the doctor's office. So, you want to stand with your back against the wall, staring straight ahead, with your heels, up against the wall, standing straight. And then you want to put a ruler over the top, like, perpendicular to the wall. And then you want to slide out from under the ruler and mark it with a pencil where how tall you are. But that's really hard. And make sure you stand in front of a mirror, because that will be really helpful. So, kind of like when you're at the doctor's office, but don't go, like, say you went to the doctor's office, like, 2 months ago, and you're like, oh, well, they said I'm 5'4", and you're like, okay, well, I'm 5'4". Well, you should probably measure yourself, because you don't know if you've, like, grown or shrank. You don't know. So, measure yourself, and then come back to measuring after you're, like, done measuring different parts of your body, because you'd be surprised, because like you can stretch, like you get more stretching out, like you stretch your body more. So yes, so make sure all that, you know, fancy stuff, like no shoes on, you're standing straight, and you have the ruler perfectly perpendicular to the wall, and you mark it with a pencil. And then you take your handy dandy white tape measure and measure how tall you are, and mark it on your pad with your pencil, because it's muy importante. And then make sure you come back to measuring your height. And then next is your weight, which, ladies, we have a problem with weighing ourselves, because we don't like looking at the scale sometimes. But a little reminder, you're perfect no matter what. So, you want to make sure your weight is straight. Make sure you're not, like, stepping on, like, your weight scale isn't on carpet. Oh, that's my dog right there. Just in case you were wondering. Make sure your weight scale isn't on carpet or wobbly tiles, because that will mess everything up. Make sure your weight scale is even. Like, you can test it by putting a ball on your scale, and then if the ball moves around, then it's not even. So make sure. I'm really sorry for my appearance, but I'm gonna look better when, like, it's the beginning video. So when I do the makeup portion, I'll be like, whew. Not saying, like, I accept myself without makeup too. Anyway, that got really off track really fast. But, weighing yourself. Make sure you weigh yourself the same time of day, same day each week, same clothing, and same scale. Because if you change stuff up, like if you weigh yourself at night one day, and then when you wake up in the morning, it's gonna have a difference, because you eat and you drink water. So and then make sure your scale is at 0. You don't want to mess anything up. You don't want to start getting on your scale when it's already on 10 pounds. That wouldn't be nice. So after you step on the scale and your scale reads off something like 125.6, which is how much I weigh, because I wrote mine down on a pad and pencil. Yeah, and then write it down. Now we get into the easy stuff. So next is your thigh. There's a difference between your leg and your thigh. Like, your leg is your whole leg, and your thigh is your upper leg, and your calf is your lower leg. So you want to measure the largest point of your thigh, which is more upwards than down. It's away from your knee, shall I say. And make sure you're staying from a mirror, because you want to know, like, you want to get all around. You don't want to, like, make sure you're not pulling it too tight or too loose. That goes for everything that you're measuring, because if you pull it too tight or loose, you'll get inaccurate readings. Yeah. And then once you record how big or small your calf is, write it down with your pencil on your pad. Don't forget. And then next is your upper arm measurement. Which is right here. That's your upper arm. Right here. Yes. Make sure you do that correctly. And then after you measure that, make sure all of your stuff is like, you write it down. I think I skipped wrist, which is not the best, but your wrist is kind of important, because you have bones right here, and that's how you determine your bone structure. So there's an ideal weight for everybody, and it is based on the bone structure as well as height and age. So to calculate your ideal weight, you have to determine whether you're small bone, medium bone, or large bone. So, of course, you want to get where your wrist is right here, and you want to measure it, but make sure it's not too tight. And if you don't have a book, you need to look at this and then write it down as your bone structure. So here's this. I apologize for all the wrinkles and like the mud up here, but my dog decided to lay on it after she went outside, and she was sweating. Like I was like not too long ago, like I let her inside and she was like all hyper, and she decided to lay on all my papers. I know papers were that comfy. But anyway, so this is the large bone structure. There's small, medium, or large. Obviously, the one I'm holding now is large. You want to find how close you are to your ideal weight. So if you look at your actual weight and match it to the chart, it will you will see, as you see, you know. So that's that. And as it said, you guys can probably like pause the video and look at it as I say this, but you want to go down to your height on the left across the proper bone structure, and then you want to write down your results. And you might want to subtract part. You want to do the subtracting part so you know how much you need to lose or gain to match your ideal weight. If you don't want to, that's fine. It's just a thing that you look at, you say, oh, I'm close to target, I'm on target, or I'm farther away from target. But even though it doesn't matter, you don't have to like lose or gain weight. It's just a thing that you look at. And make sure, like my aunt, she said, you should accept your weight and not get all crazy about it. And that's perfect. She summed it up perfectly. Like, maybe you weigh, like, me personally, I'm on weight. I'm on chart because I exercise. But I eat so much, you guys. Oh my gosh. I eat 24/7. Like, I'm not one of those people that say, oh yeah, I eat a lot. No, like, I eat a lot of food. And I love food because my father's a chef, and he just boom, 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 boom. Here, have this, try this, and this. And I'm like, okay. So I eat all of it. And I eat a lot. And there was a certain time where I gained weight, but it wasn't extreme to the point like, whoa, she gained weight. Like, it was like, oh, okay, so I'm weighing more. So I was like, well, I don't really want to stop eating a lot, but I want to eat food. So I was just like, I need to exercise. So I got, like, I was always into softball, but I joined track, which killed me. But I jog every day now, so just if you're if you're not on target, just like if there's a reason for it, like if you're like me and you eat a lot, just exercise. But if you're not on target and there's like nothing, like you have a hard time losing weight, don't stress about it. You're perfect the way you are. So aside of that is your abdomen. Now people get your abdomen, your waist, and your hips really confused. So I have a picture. This right there is your abdomen, which is a little bit like if you were looking at an hourglass figure. So these are your hips, this is your abdomen, and this is your waist. No. Your waist is up here, your hips are right here, and your... Don't listen to me, because I feel like I'm messing this up. Hold on a second. Yeah. Your hips are the lowest part. Your abdomen is the next lowest part, and your hips are the highest. So hips, abdomen, waist, abdomen, hips. Hourglass figure. Waist, abdomen, hips. Got it? Okay. Now that I got you all confused, you want to take your abdomen measurement. Again, this. And, Have the tape flat, running straight across the abdomen area. It should not be tight, but it should be taut as it circles your abdomen comfortably. Make sure you are standing in front of a mirror because that will be very helpful since you can't see the back side of your body. And check the measuring diagram at the end of the session to make sure you have the tape in the proper location. And then write your results down. Okay, next is your ankle measurement. I got a Snapchat. Your ankle measurement. So you want to measure where your ankle bone pops out. Right there. And you want to take the measurement at the point just above the front part of your foot, above the joint. And make sure the tape is perfectly straight along the back. Nothing too hard of a concept. You just want to measure it. Make sure you stand in front of a mirror and make sure it's not tight. And then after you measure everything, write it down so you don't forget. Because I forgot. Like, I was doing all my measurements, but I forgot to write it down, so I had to go back, and it's a pain. So, next is your bust measurement. And you want to place the tape around the back and across the tips of your breast to the fullest point, ladies. And make sure the tape does not sag or it's not too tight because that's really uncomfortable if anything is too tight or too loose around that area. So, and make sure it circles around your bust comfortably. And write your results down. And next is your calf measurement. Your calf is going to be high, like closer to your knee rather than to your ankle. And then make sure you stand in front of a mirror when you do this because your calf is kind of like, I don't know. For me, it was just hard. I need to stand in front of a mirror. And you want to place the tape around the center point of the fullest point of your calf, so which is more upwards. Just like your thigh, it's going to be more upwards. So, and you want to have the tape running straight across the calf area. Not too tight, not too loose. And record your results down. Next is your chest measurement, which is just below your bust. And make sure you stand in front of a mirror when you do this too. And you want to place the tape around the back and bring it to the front, just above your. So you want to have like, you know what I mean. Make sure it's not too tight, not too loose, and make sure you stand in front of a mirror because, as I said, it's the harder one to do. And write your results down. Hip measurement. Hip. Lower, lowest, right here. Hip. If you can see that. Hip. And you want to place the tape around the center and the fullest point of your hip line. If it's kind of hard where your hips are, but if you turn sideways, you can easily tell where to take the measurement. But for some ladies who don't have hips, it's going to be harder. Like, I'm not going to say I have no hips, but my hips are, they're hard to find. Like, I don't really know how to explain it. Like, it's harder to find my hips. So, make sure you stand in front of a mirror that you can check the tape location and make sure it's accurate. And then once you're done with that, take the measurement. Next is your knee measurement. We're almost done. Next is your knee measurement, and you want the knee to be straight and make sure it's not bent or flexed when you take the measurement. You want to place the tape around the knee so that it is over the center of your kneecap area. Make sure it's not too tight, not too loose, pretty simple. And once you're done measuring your knee, you want to write your results down. Next is your neck measurement. Make sure it's like about right here, your neck. Make sure it's not too high or not too low. And you want to make sure it's not too tight because then you can't breathe. Stand in front of a mirror when you do this one because this one's actually, like, you can't really see where the measurement is. So, make sure you stand in front of a mirror, and once you get those results down, you want to, once you get the results, write them down. Last, finally, is your waist, which is the highest point. I have a picture right here. Your waist, right there. And you want to make sure the tape is at the exact location of your waist and have the tape flat, running straight across the waist area. Not too tight, not too loose. Stand in front of a mirror because this is also one of the harder ones to do. And then write your results down. Okay. Whew. And make sure you keep on referring to this bone chart. Medium, large, small. It doesn't matter. And that's the end of this video. That was a lot of talking. Make sure you join me for the second video, which is gonna be a lot more fun. I mean, this was fun too, but I don't know, something about skin and makeup just makes me excited. So make sure you catch me for the next video, and I will see you guys later.